Hello and welcome back to the Rossi Brothers Sports Podcast. My name is John, joined as always by my brother Adam, and today joined by another guest.
Yeah, really excited today to be joined by Joe Wambold. Councilman Joe was born and raised in Traverse City, Michigan, and is a lifelong sports fan of all things in his beloved Mitten State. He raised two children in Gaylord, Michigan, where he worked for many years as an oil field operator and still resides with his wife, Janine. He has played rugby for much of his life, was a radio announcer for a local high school football team, served as a representative on the Gaylord City Council for 20 years, is a lover of live music, and has served on the board of the Michigan music festival Bliss Fest for over 25 years, and has ridden his bike well over 25,000 miles, both in this country and abroad. A man who one is unlikely to forget. Those who count him among their friends are truly lucky. Welcome, Joe, and thanks so much for joining us on the podcast today.
Thanks for the intro. That was great. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited.
Super cool.
Oh, very excited.
Yeah.
Before we actually get into sports stuff, I just have a question, which is Bliss Fest. Is there a particular band or musical performer who has performed at Bliss Fest that like really sticks out in your mind? It's like, wow, I'm glad I organized, saw that person live or something.
In a way, of course, one of my favorites was Taj Mahal. He came up, but there was a guy named Super Chicken. He's a blues guy out of Mississippi, but I saw him in Chicago, and I talked the board into bringing him up, and it worked out great. He was a big hit, and yeah, it was pretty sweet the way it worked out. But we've been doing it, like I said, for 25 years, and we've had a lot of fun. Great times up at Bliss Fest. Junior Woodstock, boys and girls. Check it out on the web, blissfest.org.
As I'm sitting here in the Office of Jerusalem Farm, I can look over and see on this cabinet like at least 5, if not more, Bliss Fest stickers from various years on there. The other night, Joe and some of his family members were playing a game of cards, and I noticed they were Bliss Fest cards, and it immediately brought to my mind the movie Spaceballs. And in the scene where Yogurt's showing Lone Star like all the different like Spaceballs, the video game. Yeah, like exactly. Spaceballs the lunchbox, Spaceballs the backpack, Spaceballs the breakfast cereal. And I feel like Joe is that for Bliss Fest. Like they're like Bliss Fest mugs, Bliss Fest shirts, there's Bliss Fest everything.
Don't have one.
Bliss Fest nice. Buttons. There's a lot of Bliss Fest merch around J Farm.
It's a big part of our life. Yeah, it's our community. It really is. That's our friend.
I'm gonna make it up one year.
There you go.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. Nice. So Michigan's a place it's one of 2 eastern states I haven't been yet, besides Rhode Island, which is probably a mistake on my part, but I'll make it up there.
I am a Michigan man. Let me show you my hand. Well, I'm from up here, northern lower. It's called. You got Traverse City. Another thing to check out, boys and girls, besides Bliss Fest. Traverse City, Sleeping Bear Dunes, and Mackinac Island. For 120 days, northern lower Michigan, it's as good as anywhere in the States. We get a lot of snow and it's cold up there right now. That's why I'm in Kansas City, which doesn't help me out too much. But for 120 days, it's as good as it gets. It really, really is. Beautiful water, good music scene, good craft beer scene. For bikers, great biking paths, trails. We got it all. Pretty girls.
Always important. So you mentioned biking, and you mentioned me right before this. You've ridden your bike not only long distance in this country, but abroad. You said maybe 15 or 20 countries you think you've ridden in?
Well, I was lucky enough to be stationed in Naples, Italy in the service. So I got to travel over there. Janine and I have been down to New Zealand a few times, did some long distance biking down there. I went to Peru, Bolivia, did some there. And like I say, the group in Europe, Canada, of course. But my big ride, which I'm kind of proud of, there we got my hand again. Left Gaylord, went down to Toronto, took the St. Lawrence Seaway all the way up to Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, which was pretty cool. Then I thought, well, let me bike down to Key West as long as I'm here. So it was a little over 6,000 miles. It was 4 months I was out on the bike.
Wow.
It was
goodness.
it was pretty cool.
When you say you took the Seaway, did you like get on a boat and do that, or
No, you
biked
go
along?
long yet. They actually have
Is it
called
the
the
really
water-
long bridge between like PEI and the mainland?
It
Or
is.
is
You
that-
can't bike across it. You gotta
Okay.
you gotta get on a bus there.
Ah,
Yeah, isn't it 7 miles or something? It was pretty impressive. But no, right along they have the waterfront bikeway, and it's almost the whole way up.
Wow.
It's unbelievable what Canada. Michigan, I mean, not Michigan, but the United States is getting there. We got some great trails. We really do. Last fall, I biked from Gaylord down here to Kansas City, just short 1,300. And yeah, there are a lot of bike trails along the way. I was really impressed.
Super cool. Yeah, my mom's really into, I mean, not any distance as long as you, but I think I've learned a little bit about long distance trails through her. But yeah, it's an exciting thing. I think that's been coming along in this country for a while.
Check it out. It's you can get a nice bike. Of course, right now with inflation, things are up, but between 500, and that's the key. You need a good bike. It's like anything. If you don't have a nice bike, let's say you go down to the what do they call it? The box store. It's not a nice bike. You're not going to use it. You ride it once, you ride it twice. Isn't it fun? You get yourself a nice bike, you go out and say, damn, this is pretty sweet. I should do this more often.
Dude.
Yeah.
Here.
Maybe I can serve as a good example here because I have a bike that I got for like $40 on Craigslist. And it works pretty well for me. Except I think I lost a spring from the like front, like spoke essentially. So like when the fork sits on the like axle, like axle, I guess would be the term. It's not centered. So the way it is currently, without engaging the brake pads rub up against the front wheel of my bike.
Does it make
I would not recommend biking thousands of miles on a bike like that. Or
I don't
like
know
2
much
miles on a bike like that.
I don't know much about physics or biking, but I think that might slow you down.
Yeah, believe it or not, it feels like it does. I couldn't say whether or not it actually does, but
probably does.
so
But the other thing is noise.
I can second that advice.
If you like on my bike, it's a nice bike. Mine was $900. It's a Surly. It's a top of the line touring bike, which give or take $900, which is a lot for me to spend on a bike. But I bought it in 14. It still rides like it's brand new. It's silent. It's pretty sweet.
Nice.
What's your next big ride you're planning?
Well, because I'm planning on starting in northern France, biking down through Portugal, then going along the Mediterranean. I might go further up, not along the Mediterranean because of the population, but then do Spain, France, go across Italy to Croatia, then go down the west side of the Adriatic is the game plan.
Super cool. Knock a few more countries off your list.
Yeah, that's yeah. And have you guys heard of couch surfing? The website where you stay with people?
For sure.
With cycling, we have one that's called Warm Showers. And it's actually to me, it's nicer, but it's for cyclists. But you get a map of a country and there's little dots where people are ready to host you. And it makes it easier because you know where it's at. Where couch surfing, I'm in Amsterdam. Well, Amsterdam's pretty big. Could be on the east side, west side. You don't really know. But with this couch surfing, and it's like-minded people inviting you into their house. And what's more fun than making a dinner with somebody and getting to know them?
For sure.
And then actually, they're the best GPS in the world because they can tell you they're all most of them are cyclists or their kids cycled, so they're trying to pay it forward, and they know all the routes. Where are you going? You're going 60 miles down the road. This is the way you want to go. Most cyclists won't know it, but it's beautiful and yeah.
Well,
okay,
you
excellent.
get to meet a lot of cool people that way.
You really do. You really do.
Well,
love it.
Bringing it back stateside, maybe for a
Yeah.
moment, talking about Michigan sports. You're an avid fan of all Michigan sports, like we mentioned in the bio.
How about Stafford, boys and girls? How about Stafford's in the Detroit Rams this year?
Case in point. Yeah, I guess for a Lions fan, you gotta count that because that's about as close as you get these days.
It's a curse of being. Football's the worst, of course, because I've watched the Pistons win and the Tigers. But yeah, the curse of being born in Michigan, the Lions. It really is sad, and I'm so happy for Stafford.
Yeah,
because he's, to me, you can put him right up there. Now that he's got a Super Bowl ring, and he's only 32. If he can hold the Rams together like Brady did last year with Tampa Bay. Another Michigan man there. I think most of you know that, but Tom Brady, probably the greatest football player to ever live, came out of University of Michigan.
It did. Yeah,
indeed.
I don't recall him as like a huge. I wasn't really paying attention to sports at that time, but he seemed like he wasn't like a superstar.
Okay, we had. I can't think of the young man's name. But I think he was from Michigan, the state of Michigan. Mm-hmm. He's made more money off potential because he signed a contract with the Giants, and he was a quarterback when Brady was there, trying to be. And so he went out and played baseball for a while. And then he tried making it. He didn't do that. Then he tried to come back making it football. He didn't make it there. But yeah, him and Brady kind of split time. And Brady's senior year, he had a good year and went to Rose Bowl. And as they say, the rest is history.
Well, in 97, they won the national championship.
Right.
And Brady was on that team, but he wasn't the starter?
Right. Greasy was.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Gotcha.
And I think we also had another young lad that was fairly good. I'm trying to think of his name. Maybe was it? Oh man, I can't. Charles? Yeah, goes by the name of Charles Woodson. You might have heard of him.
Yeah,
pretty good ball player.
You won the Heisman that year?
I think he won the Heisman. Do you remember that catch?
Player.
That interception against Michigan State when he rose up, snatched it out of the air, and was able to get 1 foot down right on the 50-yard line in front of their head coach, Darryl Rogers. It was pretty sweet.
That's one I'll have to look up.
Google it.
97 season. I wasn't quite around yet, but
yeah, I hear you.
I was, but I don't remember that play. But yeah, I'll have to watch it together.
Man.
Now it's interesting you mentioned Michigan State because you've also talked to me about Michigan State sports in kind of a positive light, and you had mentioned that you root for Michigan State for like in football 10 games out of the year.
Right. If they're not playing Michigan, I'm rooting for the Spotties.
Yeah. Do you? Again, I am not too familiar with the Michigan sports scene, but being a West Virginia fan, it seems to me like Michigan State is kind of akin to like West Virginia, Virginia Tech. So it's not like the number one rivalry. Like I think Michigan, Ohio State would be for West Virginia Pitt. But as a West Virginia fan, if someone was like, hey, I root for West Virginia and Virginia Tech, I'd probably like at least raise an eyebrow, be like, oh, interesting, you know. But do you ever get any flack for saying you pull for Michigan and Michigan State, except in the
not really. I never went to either one of them. I think that's a big thing. Like I have friends that went to either one, especially I got a couple Michigan State fans. They won't root for Michigan. Even when they're playing Ohio State. I mean, come on. Yeah, to me it's crazy, but yeah, there's a lot of casual fans or even hardcore Michigan fans that will root for Michigan State most of the season, I believe.
Yeah. There was a guy I taught with in my previous job who went to Michigan, and he was not on the Michigan State train. He was pretty anti Michigan State, we'll say. But
I suppose if you went to one of them and maybe you got beat 2 years out of it, 2 out of 3 or 2 out of 4.
And when I think of Michigan college sports, I think of U of M first and Michigan State second. I think I also think of U of M as being the football school and Michigan State as being more the basketball school. But I was somewhat surprised to find, so I went through and found all the championships that Michigan teams have won during your lifetime. It's actually a pretty extensive list. Apart from the Lions, who last won the NFL title in 1957. They beat up on the Browns, by the way, in the championship game that year. But apart from the Lions, there have been a lot of Michigan championships. But I was surprised to find that Michigan State football has won more titles in your lifetime than Michigan.
Yeah, they're for a couple of years, not too far back, at the beginning of the playoffs. I mean, Michigan State won what, 3 of 4 years, or 2 of 4, I think. They were tough. That was under Rodgers, yeah, Daryl, wasn't it? Who's there
for the college football playoff?
Yeah, the coach. I can't think of his name.
Antoni?
Yeah, I thought it was under D'Antoni.
That's what I'm thinking.
I think they made it the 1 year with Kirk
the
Cousins.
first year.
Yeah, but you're right. They were strong. They definitely were. Oh, and we all remember. It hurts him to think about the punt. You remember the punt? Oh
yes.
And he was a rugby player too. Of course, that was part of the problem. He didn't know the whole situation. Just go down. Don't try to get it off. Just go down. Oh, not that I remember.
That was, I think, maybe one of the like most shocking turns, I feel like, in a game. Like it's like completely wrapped up for Michigan. It was like essentially just a given win.
There was seconds
for one play. Yeah,
I mean, even if he would have went down once he dropped it.
Yeah, were they up by 3 or more?
I think we were. Yeah. I think we were up by 4.
I mean, the way I remember it, they could only have won by scoring a touchdown on that play.
Yeah.
Somehow.
That was crazy. Yeah. I remember I was in Black Bear in Morgantown. I was meeting with it was some academic. It might have just been a social get together for like Parks and Rec students, but I was there early. So I remember I got a seat at the bar and that game was on. It was like the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I just kind of was casually, I'll just watch this until people get there. And
Go Blue, we're kicking her.
Michigan's going to win here. And like, literally could not believe as it's happening. Like, did that just happen? It's like,
yeah, you're right.
Really, really shocking.
I got a quick story. I was stationed in Naples, Italy, and this was during early 73 to 77. And we used to listen to the games on Armed Forces Radio. So I was listening to the Nebraska-Oklahoma game, which they were in. Ohio State was playing Michigan State at the same time. Ohio State was number 1, Nebraska, Oklahoma, one of them was 2. The other one might have been 3. You know how it was back then. And so I'm listening to the game, and all of a sudden there's just a play going on, and this huge roar comes up. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what just happened? Michigan State just beat Ohio State, man. I always remember that. Just for no reason, the crowd goes nuts.
Wow. Was that I mean, that must have been like 7-8 p.m. local time if you're in Naples compared to
it was 8 hours.
Back then it would have been like daytime games.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, like, if that's a night game, like what time were you up? But
yeah, but we worked around the clock in a way. But
okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, back then they were all day games, remember? Back before you boys were born, they were all day games, played in the afternoon.
John studied abroad in Rome, so he has some.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and there are 2 particular sports memories that I have from that. One of them being, I hate the Cubs, and the Cubs were this is 2018. They were in the NL wildcard game, and they lost to the Colorado Rockies, and in like over in extra innings, I believe. And I woke up like pretty early local time there. And like the very end of the game was happening. I was like, oh wow, this must be really late. But the other one being West Virginia football, when Will Greer scored like 2-point conversion at Texas to beat Texas.
Remember the name Will Greer?
Yeah, with the I don't know, one of the more iconic, I guess, horns down games, I would say. But like that, I missed entirely because it was, late at night in Austin, Texas, which was like 4 a.m. And I was sad that I wasn't able to watch that game. But anyway, that's the only reason why I thought of that. Sorry to go on a complete tangent.
Hey, no problem. Rome, quite a city.
Yeah.
If I could I just read all the championships that Michigan teams have won during your lifetime? Maybe this will spark some memories.
We can
of
throw
of
out
these
some comments.
teams. Okay. So going back to 1957, the Lions won the NFL championship. So, by the way, you were born
54.
54.
Quality good since 1954.
Okay. So I start with the 57 Lions NFL championship. Although the Lions won several in the 50s. I think they won a few more that you wouldn't remember, but in your lifetime there. So anyway, their last title was 57. Then in 65 and 66, Michigan State wins back-to-back football titles. Then in
what year?
65 and 66.
Yeah, with Bubba Smith, but George Webster was the other stud on the team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then in 68, the Tigers won the World Series.
Yeah, LK Line, Norm Cash, Dick McCullough. Let's go around the horn.
Wow.
Willie Horton, Bill Freehand, Mickey Lodledge, last pitcher to do what?
Win 30 games.
Amen. Amen. While drinking too, because
really?
Yeah, he was
Well,
he got some heat.
Maybe that's what it takes to get.
I was gonna say, not sure if that helped, or maybe he could have won more than 30
And
games.
then of course Mickey Lodledge won 3 games in the World Series that year.
Really?
And Bill Freehand blocked the plate, so Kurt Flood could not score that go ahead or the extra run.
They played the Cardinals in that World Series.
Yeah, it was.
So Bob Gibson was
Bob Gibson, man. They didn't get much better than Bob Gibson.
Yeah.
He was
special
a horse.
kind of player.
Yeah.
So I guess you took 11 years off then. Next championship came in 1979 when the Magic Johnson-led Michigan State basketball team won the national title. So just at that point during your lifetime, Michigan, that's 3 national titles for Michigan State, and Michigan hadn't won any during your lifetime at that point. I was kind of surprised to find that. But then just 5 years later, the Tigers won another World Series in 1984.
With Sweet Lou, Alan Trammell, right?
Okay.
Jack Morris. He was a stud too. Pitcher, you remember the name Jack Morris?
I don't.
He was a pitcher. And in one of the games, I don't know if it was a play-in or when he went 10 innings. Like it was either one hitter or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love to see pitchers go in the distance. Like you never see it anymore, but there's something cool about a complete game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nowadays, some of you guys don't even.
When you were asking about the superlative earlier, I was thinking it has to be something about complete games, right? That never happens anymore. You're right.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
I wonder how many complete games he threw that year. He was like 31-6 or something unbelievable.
Of course, we had what's a kid from Michigan State. He played football and then he was with the Tigers. Got the famous home run for the Dodgers. Man.
Kirk Gibson?
Yeah, Kurt was on the team, of course.
Oh.
And actually, Ricky Leach played for the he was a Michigan football player. Really? You know Ricky Leach, the guts and glue of the maize and blue, 4 years started for.
I can hear some of this high school sports announcer coming out.
Yeah,
wow.
That was a good year. The Tigers that year was that
84
Tigers.
So was Kirk Gibson playing for them?
Oh yeah,
that year?
Kurt.
Huh.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
I'd heard he was a football and baseball player, but I didn't realize he went to Michigan State.
Yeah, he was a Michigan State lad, and he grew up in Michigan. He never played pro football, but
right. What position did he play for State?
He was a receiver. He's a big boy too. 6'3", 6'4". There's a lot of defensive back stuff. I guess I got to jump in front of him, but I don't know if I should, man. Oh man.
Yeah.
Kind of like King Henry right now. All right, where are we at?
Okay, yeah. So then we get not Michigan football, Michigan basketball wins the national title in 1989.
89. Man, oh man, Glenn Rice. Oh, smooth as silk. Then we had the young lad hit the 2 free throws right at the end that sealed it for us. Beat Rip Hamilton and the boys.
Huh.
Seton Hall.
Oh wow. I didn't realize Rip Hamilton went to Seton Hall.
Yeah, and then of course he came and helped Detroit win a couple times.
Right. Speaking of which, Later that year in '89, so Michigan wins the title in, I guess, March of that year. And then that summer, the Bad Boy Pistons win their first, and they followed it up with a back-to-back title the next year. So 89-90, the Pistons win the NBA.
Which Isaiah Thomas, say what you want, he was a stud for that, for being as tall. He was only 5'11", 6 foot at the tallest. He was as good as they got.
Yeah.
And of course, the Worm was always fun to watch play.
Is that Bill Lambier?
Well, Dennis Rodman. They called him the Worm. Okay. Yeah, with John Sally. Him and Sally would come in off the bench with Vinny, the microwave.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was Rodman there for both those titles?
Yes.
With the Pistons? Huh.
Yep.
And then he went on and won 3 with the Bulls.
Yeah. He did.
Kind of ironic because there's that kind of Pistons Bulls rivalry there in the 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
So then the Red Wings win the Stanley Cup, and they won back-to-back in 97 and 98.
And it was a long stretch before they won.
Right.
Yeah, it was a long stretch. Then they had a lot of good years.
Yeah, they won 97, 98, and then again in 02 and again in 08. Yeah,
I don't know if you guys, we had quite a few Russians come over and play on our team. And I don't know if it's a true fact or not, but we used to play, they had red uniforms, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the boys used to say, it's good to be back in red.
And I was, just last night, I was reading a little bit about those Red Wings teams. Which, by the way, I remember the very tail end of that very well, because in 2008, when they won their last Stanley Cup, they beat the Penguins.
Oh, okay.
That's my team. Remember lost Game 6 in overtime in Pittsburgh that year. Of course, next year Penguins came back and took care of them, won their first Stanley Cup.
We had Steve Yzerman, Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that 2018 though, just watching them. I used to watch almost every Penguins game. So I was in middle school, and when we got to the finals, because the Penguins kind of did pretty well in the playoffs that year. Obviously, they got to the finals, but they took care of most teams pretty well. They beat the Flyers like 6-2 or something in the clinching game of the Eastern Conference Finals. But they took care of business. I think they swept the Hurricanes in one of the rounds that year. Anyway, get to the finals, and just watching the Red Wings, you could tell this is the best team. Like, very easily, they're passing, their puck control was just on a whole nother level. I thought the Penguins were lucky to win 2 games that year, to be honest. But got done the next year. Anyway, so yeah, Red Wings win 4 in 11 years there. And I also was last night reading about this the octopus. What's with this octopus?
Okay, the octopus is it 4 legs?
8.
Oh, and it used to be you needed 8 wins to win. You had the semis and the finals years back, so you needed 8 wins. So you throw the octopi out on the out on the ice, and okay, I'm going to sneak an octopus into the arena and throw it out on the ice. All right, cool.
But then
who does that? I don't know.
Was it like for the 8th game, or like any of the games during the playoffs?
It would be any
or before the playoffs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just throw them out there. That was quite a thing. Then they get the ice or the little shovel to go pick it up.
Yeah.
I don't know if they cooked it later or threw it away. I'm not sure, because everybody likes calamari.
Yeah. Can you do you know if there are any octopi to be fished in any of the Great Lakes around
there? There is not. If you know your science, it's a saltwater fish. At least I think they are. Don't quote me on that. But no, I don't know. We don't have jellyfish either, which is a good thing. Yeah. Oh man, come up and check it out. No salt, no sharks, no worry. Nice. The Great Lakes.
Lots of love.
Especially up where we're at. It's crystal clear. It's beautiful. Ooh.
You're a good advocate for the Mitten State.
Are we bringing up the Fab Five in here? I mean, they didn't win a chance. They went 2 years in a row as freshmen. Solid freshman team led by Chris Webber and Juwan Howard. Oh, man.
Yeah, man. Suspended right now.
Yeah. Well, They're just trying to make a living. Come on, they're just trying. They're trying to take their girlfriends out for a Mickey D's. They couldn't even afford to do that, and they're selling Chris Webber jersey for $60, and you didn't get a penny. That's not right. Oh, what they call student athletes.
No, you bring up a good point. And it seems like I remember watching the Fab Five 30 for 30.
Oh, they were fun.
But
well, go ahead.
Well, just the whole idea of, I guess, those violations. That it's interesting now because with name, image, and likeness stuff changing, and NCAA, arguably that wouldn't have been against the rules today.
And if you think they literally changed basketball, the shorts, the socks, swagger. They changed. Yeah. They changed the face of basketball.
I was gonna say I was kind of shocked. I remember like learning about the Fab Five because I like had heard of them and I was like, oh, like they're this like magical like unit of like this revolutionary basketball team essentially. And then when I realized that they never actually won the title, I was like, oh wow, it's crazy. Because I always just assumed that they had because they were that like famous and everything.
Yeah, they went 2 years.
Interesting.
Well, like I said, they may not be able to hang them in the banners right now or in the rafters, but they have two big, whatever you want to call them, banners, trophies, Final Four. They won.
Yes, you say Final Four. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool. Say what you want. Yeah. Well, they didn't win anything. They went to the Final Four. That's what's wrong with America right now. I came in second of all the basketball teams in the nation. No, you're a loser, man. You didn't win the final. I came in second. No, you're a loser. To me, that's crazy. You had this unbelievable year. You come in second. What are you going to do next year?
Well, I mean, arguably, historically, they've stuck around more so than was it like the Christian Laettner Duke that they lost to?
Yeah. Went right down.
I mean, I guess Christian Laettner himself still has like some social salience, I guess, but I would say definitely like more people who I think I would talk to just on the street or whatever, like the Fab Five would like sticks out more historically, like has had more impact in the long run, despite all of that. So yeah, maybe to your point, like in some ways doesn't matter as much.
Even the 89 team that won the national title, like I didn't even know that until I was preparing for this podcast. Like I remember the Fab Five teams that didn't win the national title more, or I'm aware of them more than teams just previous to that did get it, or the one team.
Yeah, it was quite a run. It really was. It really was.
That's definitely, if it's not my very favorite, it's definitely top 5 30 for 30. That Fab Five documentary.
Oh yeah,
I enjoy watching that.
There's another. Okay, so I'm down in Indianapolis. We had a friend live there, and for Michigan was playing Ohio State, and I think it was to get into the Final Four. And fortunately, the guy who lived next door, he was an Ohio State fan, had a nice big screen TV. So I'm over there, and it was back and forth and back and forth. But Webber gets a rebound underneath. And of course, the guys are big guys. And how do you get the shot up? All of a sudden you just see the ball go right up and just throw it down.
Authority.
With authority.
Man.
Not to be denied.
Yeah. I don't remember. Yeah, obviously I don't remember the Fab Four, but I remember Chris Webber playing for the Kings. When I first started paying attention to sports, he was a pretty big star for the
He really was. Kings. And it's a shame he's not. I think he'll get in, but he should be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, he's kind of like, if you think like Stafford. He played with the Kings his whole career.
Yeah.
And they still talk about being stolen. Remember? You guys don't remember, but they were beating the Lakers. And it had to be around Kareem's time. And there was like 2 or 3 phantom calls.
With Chris Webber?
Yeah. Well, with the Kings. I don't know if they're with Chris or not. But and they just took it away from him. And, oh, man. Yeah.
What could have been?
What could have been. But Stafford got that big fat ring he just ordered that he'll be wearing.
In case you hadn't mentioned. Matt, I'm happy for him.
Think he'll take it back to Detroit at all?
I think he will. I mean, like, I don't know. Of course, being from Michigan, him and his wife were just overjoyed with the support they got from Michigan. Yeah, their shirts. Detroit Rams. We're pulling, most of the state was pulling for him.
Yeah.
He gave Detroit everything he had. I got a couple things. I'm not rooting for Stafford. Why not? Well, he left us. No, he didn't leave us. He had the opportunity. I mean, we traded him. It's not like he left.
I was gonna say, I think it's one thing too in a trade versus like free agency. It's like, he got traded. Like,
and we gave him the opportunity. And what did he do with that opportunity? He took it to the top. Is what he did with it.
Well,
all right, we got
enjoy the
nice.
sweet.
There you go. Yeah,
but yeah. So they're we're not done yet. So we already mentioned that the Michigan football team finally did win a national title in '97.
'97. Yeah.
Then in 2000, you have Tom Izzo winning his first and only national title with Michigan State.
That was a nice run. That really was.
And then you had 2004. I remember this too, when the Pistons won the NBA title. And I was kind of reading about them last night. I was in like late elementary, early middle school when this is going on. But they made 5 straight Eastern Conference Finals with Rip Hamilton and Ben Wallace and Chauncey Billups.
Mr. Big
Wallace.
Shot.
That was quite the lineup they had. That was quite the team.
It really was. And like right now, I haven't watched a Pistons game. I don't know how long, but when they were playing, our Fox station would have them on, Fox Sports. You watch the Pistons every night, they're on. They were so much fun. They were winning. Tayshaun, he was a stud. Big Ben cleaned the boards off, and Rip just sweet.
Yeah.
And of course, Chauncey leading the group.
I remember when Rip Hamilton was wearing that like clear face mask.
Like shield.
Yeah. That finals, John, I don't know if you remember this. It was right when Joe and Gina were getting married, and we had we had their wedding in Cumberland. But we had all the Zitelli staying with us. It was like during that week the NBA finals were going on. It was the Spurs and the Pistons. And I remember several nights watching those games with Dad in the living room.
I could not have for the life of me pulled out any of those memories. But as you're like describing these and like describing the team, I'm like, oh yeah, Rashid, yeah, Chauncey Billups, like, oh yeah, totally. Like, like it's all. This is a fun experience because this is like not like subsurface memories for me. Anyway.
Yeah, it was almost similar because we mentioned ESPN 30 for 30's Bad Boy Pistons, another great 30 for 30 documentary. And it's interesting, that team was together for maybe those like 4-ish years there, but then they kind of got broken up because of contracts being expired.
Plus, this is one thing that really made no sense at all. There was an expansion going on, and we lost one of our the day they announced it, like the day they're getting ready to celebrate the big win, like the day after the championship, we lose. I think it was Rick Mahorn.
And we went to the Timberwolves.
Yeah, I mean, come on, why do you got to do that right then? I mean, that makes no sense at all.
But then they still, and even without him, I don't know if they won the title the next year, but they still went to. Yeah, really. At the end there, they lost the Bulls in the Eastern Conference Finals, maybe.
Yeah, but there was 4 years. We should have won it 4 years. The first year with Larry Bird stole that inbounds pass from, I think it was from Isaiah. I'm not sure. Oh man,
or Magic Johnson.
No, it was Larry Bird.
Really?
And then the next year we were playing the Lakers, and there was another phantom call.
Gotcha.
From Kareem. Okay. But we had Lambeer, who was a deadly shot, and they're working the play around. He got the ball at the elbow that he made every time he passed it up. When I see videos of that, shoot the ball. That was what the play was for you to shoot the ball. And he passed it up, and we ended up losing that game. And, that would have put us up by 5 or 3 or something. It would have. And that was it. That's what they played. That was the play. I'm sure it was the play. He's right there, open from the corner and from the elbow, and didn't shoot it. Just like the other big play that brings tears to my eyes. Chris Webber pulls down. Which one was it? His 19th, his 20th, his 21st rebound with power. And who flashed for the ball? Jalen. Throw the ball to Jalen. Don't dribble the ball. Throw the ball to Jalen. We win the title. But what's he do? Dribbles the ball, loses, calls timeout. Oh, throw the ball to Jalen. Please, please, please.
Oh, Chris, see what you've done. This is 40 years ago.
Jalen Flash, too, right there. I went to a museum, I thought they used to have it down here at the Experience, but they'll show that play because it's so famous because of the timeout. And I'm in this room, they're showing a clip, and there's like 30 people in there. Weber grabs a rebound, and I yell out, throw the ball to Jalen. Everybody's going, what the hell's going on? Throw the ball to Jalen, because Jalen flashes for it just like he did the whole game.
They must not have been Michigan people.
No, I thought there'd be somebody else yelling too, you know?
Yeah. That's great. Yeah. Jalen Rose, he was also a good time. Still as commentator, I think.
He does a nice job with ESPN, yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy his analysis.
He's done well. He's done well.
He's one of like the better things about the NBA. I'm not a huge NBA fan, but I will give the NBA this. I enjoy Jalen Rose. I also enjoy I don't like watch them regularly, but I remember people mentioned to us before, John, TNT. I know Morgan loves those TNT guys, and what little I've seen, that is really fun. Like maybe the best part of the NBA for me is like people commentating about the NBA. They have some.
Yeah, it's tough right now, I think, for them. I don't know. I guess the ratings are still up, but I know I don't watch a lot of it. Well,
they put ads in the jerseys. How can anyone watch the NBA with ads in the jerseys?
But okay, like yesterday, I was at there's a bar here at Knucklehead in Kansas City called Knuckleheads Blues Bar. If you're ever in Kansas City, boys and girls, check out Knuckleheads. That's one of the top blues bars in America,
especially if Howard Mahon's playing.
All right. But so I'm watching the Michigan State. They played Purdue yesterday. Purdue's number 4, and now I know why I don't watch basketball. You know, it's close game, back and forth, and with 0.4 seconds to play in the game, Michigan State throws the ball, it goes out of bounds. Did it go out of bounds? I'm not sure. So it was over 2.5 minutes. Refs, you see the backs of the refs' jerseys as they're watching the video like that. And I'm thinking, come on, how long does this take? It doesn't make any difference what you call. We're going to live with it, right? And it just goes on and on and on. Then, of course, they make a decision. So each team's got to call a timeout to get that last play in. 0.4 seconds.
You end up winning.
Sparty's beat them.
They win.
Yeah, did you see the last shot? That was pretty sweet. That
I just saw the score, but
I don't remember the kid's name. I don't know if it was Brown or Smith, but he had a 3-pointer with 3.3 seconds. Just he dribbling out front, just drains it.
Well,
yeah,
kick from Sparty.
There you go.
It's their time. It's their time.
So I see you took a few notes here, really prepared for this. Was there any other stories or stuff you wrote down that you wanted to mention?
Being a big Michigan fan, I'd like to throw the name out, Bob Eufer. I know most of the people, this is a podcast. There's probably nobody over 40 listening to it. I
don't know. Some of our family.
They're probably. But Eufer was the voice of Michigan football for over 40 years. And he was just unbelievable. Just let me do this quick thing he does. Okay. You know, everybody, you guys been to Mountaineers football, right?
Let's go Mountaineers.
There's nothing like it. There's nothing like. I remember Paul McCartney and the Beatles talking about going to a football game. And they were saying, we thought concerts were fun. This is unbelievable what they do over here every Saturday.
Yeah.
But youth does this thing. Okay. You know what I'm talking about. 10 to 14 minutes before game time, as you anticipate that 4-word command. And out of the speakers, you hear, band, take the field now. That far western tunnel board, 250 well-drilled, well-disciplined, bland members. They form the big block hymn in the stadium, and they proceed to play the greatest fight song ever written. And then they start playing the Go Blue or the, oh man, that's when those, Sorry, you have to edit
No,
that.
this is great. I'm not editing this.
That was
out.
awesome.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
I
he
can-
was unbelievable.
I'm not even a Michigan fan. I feel some goosebumps.
Yeah.
The hair stands up in the back of your neck, and the crowd stands as one, and the players run underneath the Go Blue banner.
Is that with the big like banner? That's a pretty iconic image. I feel like
It is. It really is.
a quintessential college football. Yeah, but and the Michigan's uniforms, I feel like, are also
Yeah,
just, like,
well,
super
their helmets are, like,
iconic. Yeah,
well, we were talking about Michigan State, and Michigan's our brand. Our brand's one of the top brands in the nation.
Yeah.
yeah.
Nice. You mentioned that. What was the guy's name?
Bob Eufer.
Bob Eufer.
Google it.
I read this book by John U. Bacon. Do you recognize
Oh,
that name?
yeah.
Yeah, he wrote one a few years ago about the year that it was just maybe 2018 season. It was when Michigan lost to Notre Dame in the first game of the year. It was pretty close. I think it was the same year that you were talking about, John, when you were in Italy, and WB texted the Will Greer senior year. But Michigan lost to Notre Dame, then won all the rest of their games, and were in playoff consideration. And then the last game of the year got blown out by Ohio State. And then I think they played Alabama in a bowl game and lost to Alabama. But he basically just follows the team that entire season and writes about the program and ins and outs of the program. But he focuses a lot on Jim Harbaugh. And again, not a Michigan fan, but it was a fantastic read. Just as a college football fan, I learned a lot about how a program works, kind of ins and outs of a lot of that. But he talks about Bill Buford and Bob. Sorry, Bob Buford.
I've seen that guy speak before. He's been up in our community.
He said, I think the line was for people in Michigan, he said Michigan football was a religion, and Saturdays by the radio was our holy day of obligation. He said everyone would have the radio on and listening to Bob Buford. And he said, he just was so, his emotion was just
wide
effusive
right.
and-
No, it can't be wide right.
Oh man,
I do love that about like
feel the
the very biased announcing for the home team or whatever team.
And they talk about when he first
for.
came on, they get letters. You can't have this guy on the radio. And of course, it kind of affected Bob too. And his boss, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
Yeah,
this is going to work. And like both said, he had a lot of coaches saying, "We wish we had somebody like you for announcing our games." Yeah. There was no doubt who he. And he had nicknames for a lot of the kids.
Yeah,
like Ricky Leach. What was he? The guts and
gold blue of the golden blue. Yeah, there we go.
And
it's catchy. It's catchy.
Anthony Carter. He was a wide receiver. He was one of the first.
I think I recognize that name.
He wore number 1 on his jersey. AC Carter, number 1 on his back, number 1 on the field, and number 1 in your heart.
What year did Bob Buford retire?
He died. He announced his last game and he died 4 days later.
Really?
Yup.
Wow.
They had a huge tribute to him. He had cancer, so they knew it was coming. But in the banner that they run under, it had said Bob Eufer on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
What do you know what year that was?
Boy, I was just looking it up too. I really don't. It's been a while. I'm probably the 80s. Yeah.
You mentioned Bo Schembechler, who John U. Bacon talks a lot about in the book, and of course talks about Jim Harbaugh playing for him and him being a big mentor for Harbaugh. But yeah, when I think about Michigan football, I think the first name I think of is Bo Schembechler.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, do you have any thoughts about the program back in the day?
Yep. Okay, so I graduated in 73. Bo came in 69. That's when we had that big win over Ohio State, 24-10, I think. And Billy Taylor? Not Billy Taylor. Oh man, kid had 2 touchdowns. Oh, it was just great. Probably the biggest win in Michigan. And right from there, from that was 69. So I went into service in 73. A couple of my friends went to University of Michigan. So my brother, he went to a smaller college, and he'd go down to Ann Arbor to the football games. He said, Joe, when you get back, man, we got to go down to the football games. It was unbelievable. So when I got back, we started going down. And of course, when I was overseas back in 73, 4, and 5, that's when Michigan was always ranked 1 or 2 in the nation. And of course, I played military football over there. And of course, they'd announce all the games. And it was easy to be a Michigan fan because they're always top right up there. But man, we used to go to those games. Back then, I'm talking in the mid 70s, late 70s. You get a black garbage bag, you fill it up with ice and beer and carry it in the stadium. No questions asked. Wow. No questions asked. As long as they couldn't see it, they didn't care. And of course, everybody's smoking blunts up in there. It was crazy. Unbelievable. And of course, Michigan's winning. It was crazy. So my brother and I, we used to go down. But when we'd go down for either Notre Dame or Ohio State. I remember Purdue had a big team one year, so we went down that. But we don't go down for the big one. And we'd always go down without tickets. And back then, we'd walk around the stand, need a ticket. And you'd always be able to score them. And it was Notre Dame, Michigan, and we were both preseason favorites. And of course, there's always people looking for tickets. So we scored a couple tickets. So what we do, of course, we're kids. He'd go up like 30 feet, 40 feet. Then I'd come up walking. Hey, I need a ticket. And there's always people. Need one. Hey, I need one. So he'd come up to me. Nobody knows that's right. Hey, just heard. I got to go, man. I'll sell it to you for face, which is unheard of, right? And then, of course, there'd be people all around. You got another one? I'll buy that one. So we'd make the transaction. Then I'd go up, stand in the crowd, another 100 yards, and we go all the way around the stadium doing that, just selling this one ticket to each other. It was so glad just to get the reaction from the people around.
That's amazing. So I heard that one year you and your brother went to Pasadena for the Rose Bowl.
Yep.
When Michigan was in the Rose Bowl, but you didn't make it to the game.
Oh no. Okay, we took the train out.
Okay.
And another situation, we're needing a ticket, and we're at the parade. And all of a sudden, there's a crowd kind of gathering, not too far from us. And there's a guy that had tickets, and the guy he's trying to buy it from is him. I don't know. And my brother says, "I'll take him," just like that. "I'll take him." And the guy says, "Yeah, really put him on, man." And so the guy says, "All right, we'll take him." But then somebody else says, "Oh, I got some right here," and we actually paid for our tickets with those traveler's checks, that you used to get.
Okay.
Yeah. I think they were like $38. We gave them, we got 2 tickets for $40 or $80, but right off face.
Really?
Yeah.
And you got in, you watched them.
Oh yeah. We got in, and that, of course, you don't remember. Charles White scored a phantom touchdown. Check that one out. Okay. So they're down by the goal line. They hand the ball off. Charles leaps in, and his back is to us. Mm-hmm. And he gets stuck, drops the ball. I don't know if it was a 2 or a 4. And the ref in front of us throws up his hands because all he sees is Charles' back going in. Mm-hmm. And, and the ball's on the ground, and there's a thing. And they actually called it a touchdown. And White in the paper the next day that shows the play where the ball's getting knocked out of his hands. "Oh yeah, I threw it down when I got the end zone." Right there's a picture, man. Right there's a picture. But the actual ref was a Big Ten ref, and he never reffed against Michigan again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Never.
Touchdown.
Yeah, the phantom touchdown.
And that was in the Rose Bowl?
That was the Rose Bowl. Okay. But the other was, we're driving down the field. We're down by less than a touchdown. and Ricky hits Harlem H. Bomb Huckabee was his name. Harlem H. Bomb Huckabee. He hits him out in the flats with like one man to beat, and he dropped the ball. Oh,
man. Harlem Huckabee.
Harlem H. Bomb. But what was so bizarre is you're out in California. We got beat, and my brother had a acquaintance, young lady, and her parents were out there. So we had a place to stay that night because we didn't have any place to stay. We stayed out on the parade route all night the night before, wow. Sticking newspaper under our shirts to stay warm. But and then of course we had big parties planned, and it was such an adrenaline flow out that nobody did anything. It was amazing how everybody was just exhausted.
Yeah. So Michigan win that game?
No, we got beat. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Charles Fent. Wow. We got beat every year. You know what the problem was? This is a little known fact about those years. Okay. We're talking 70s, late 70s, Vietnam War, protests. This was a lot of the Michigan theory. The bud was too strong in California. So when the players went out there to celebrate their big victory, they weren't ready to play the next day because the bud in California was so much stronger than the bud in Michigan.
That's amazing. I think that must have been it.
Yeah.
So that
there's evidence-backed theory, I'm sure.
Yeah. There's studies done. You can't roll the window down. I've got a study going here.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. So you talk about announcing, you talk about Bob Buford and his you did a pretty good impersonation of him, I must say. Having never listened to Bob Buford, I will get that again. But you yourself announced
I used to do some high school announcing on the local radio, not TV. It was radio. So.
Okay. So and
I like that.
Your wife tells me that you do enjoy at times kind of announcing for a game you're watching on TV, just to her, whoever else happens.
I don't sit quietly while watching most games. Yeah. Like you guys, I'm sure.
Yeah. What?
Why you got it packed in, man? You're trying to get 1 yard. You're gonna run against the whole line. Come on, spread it out. Fake it into the line.
As a Browns fan, I feel like the Browns and the Lions are very similar in that vein. Like it's.
But you guys, you're two. Of course, that was before you. Those two fumbles on those drives.
The '80s, John Elway. Yeah. Well, it's been a long time. Never in my life.
Single tear.
But anyway, thinking about you're doing the radio thing. I thought it would be fun if before I get out of here, I show you a few videos. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I found a few.
Are they highlights. Football or?
They're all football. There's one basketball. Okay. There's two basketball. 3 football, 2 basketball. And I'm going to turn down the sound, and I just want to just see what your how do you announce these particular plays? To kind of they're pretty unique plays, we'll say. All right, it's got to pull these up here. So
this has been a blast, fellas. This has been a blast.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Great. Okay, so we're gonna pull up. Where are we going here? Okay, the first one is a basketball play. Of course, I say I don't like the NBA. But we're gonna start with an NBA play here, and so the video muted.
Rockets and the Spurs.
Rocks and the Spurs. This is 2019. You're gonna see James Harden on this play. All right. And there's Harden.
So I'm supposed to. Oh, no! Right now, we're going to show it first.
Yeah. So I'll give you a little debrief here. So you're going to see James Harden. So the Spurs are coming down the court, and James Harden's going to steal the ball and go up for a dunk.
Okay.
That's
all right. All right. We got Adams was yo-yoing the ball out front, stole by Harden. He goes in for the easy jam. What? Oh, there's something you don't see every day, boys and girls. He slammed it down, kind of got caught in the net, came out. I'm not sure if it's a score or not, tell you the truth. Man, oh man, he steals it, goes up, slams it down, one hand, nice jam, gets caught. Oh, it did go. Man, oh man, I think it went through. And King, it went through. It went through. We're gonna count it.
Well, so this play was
Awesome.
actually the announcer said basically the exact same thing you did. Ultimately, the play was not counted.
Oh, no kidding.
As a dunk. And it ended up being pretty significant because this game went into double overtime, and I think the Spurs won by 2. So that was pretty pivotal.
Well, I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen that play. That's hard.
I knew.
Yeah, I was shocked when I saw it too.
But it did go through and came.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see any reason why I wouldn't count.
Yeah. It's not like it caught and popped up. It went
exactly.
through.
Yeah,
correct.
all the way through. But oh well. Next, we're gonna go up north. Even well, I don't know if this is north of the Mitten State, to be honest. But anyway, we're going to Canada, America's hat.
Oh,
So we have a Canadian football play here. This is the Winnipeg Blue Bombers playing in Hamilton at the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and you're gonna see this is the Blue Bombers have the ball, second and goal down right near the goal line, and you're gonna see the quarterback throw a touchdown pass.
all right. So you want to do it right away, or you want me to do it first? Watch it first.
To Ryan. So yeah, we can.
What do you think? Should I get to watch it first, or do I got to go with it?
What do you think, John?
I think to simulate the real live environment.
Yeah, I guess
is my thought. I think that's part of the fun of the game.
I like it.
I mean, if you're comfortable with that,
we can try it.
So here we are. Here's the
You gotta
situation.
make it look good.
Second and goal.
All right.
Winnipeg. They're up 15-7. They got the ball down, second and goal down near the Hamilton goal line. All right.
Okay, the Winnipeg Jets. It's a quick pass across the middle. He scores a touchdown. But I'm not sure what is this? Smith looks up, grabs the ball, catches it, goes into the end zone. Touchdown, Smith. Nothing to it. Oh, man, but what a throw. He wasn't even expecting the ball. Hit him right in the hands and was able to take it in. Put it right in the pocket. What a pass. Adam Rossi. Oh, man. Talk about a dime. You talk about a dime. Man, hit him right in the hands. The guy didn't even see the ball coming. Hit him right in the hands and took it into the... Oh, man, Adam. Whoa.
That is a crazy play. So we're gonna stay with the
like the stickum, that
I don't
but
know
like
how
on his whole forearm or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you could try that a billion times.
Really.
All right. So next up, we're gonna stick with football. We're gonna take it back down to the States. This was actually right here in Kansas City. Indeed, 2018, not a good day for the Chiefs. It was their wild card game against the Titans back in 2018. We had a Marcus Mariota-led Titans team. This was the year that the Eagles beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl, just for context.
I remember
but this
that.
is the first. Yeah, this is the first day of the playoffs. We got Titans at the Chiefs. Chiefs are up in this situation. It's the third quarter. Chiefs are up 21-3, and the Titans have the ball. I think is it third and goal? Third down and goal. They have the ball at the 6-yard line, and so we have 6 minutes left in the third quarter. Right. Marcus Mariota-led Titans are looking to score here, third and goal.
All right, Mariota in the shotgun. He's back, looking around. Got pretty good protection. Who's he looking for? He looks right, looks left, drifts back, almost slips and falls. Now he's running. He's right at the line. He fires it. Oh, off a defensive man, back right in his hands, and he runs it in. You won't see that every day, boys and girls. Off a defensive player. I'm not sure who it hit. Right back to Mariota's hands and he took it in for the go-ahead touchdown. Man, oh man. And he doesn't know what to think. So here it is. Show the replay. Oh, yeah, batted off. Takes it in, hits the pylon, and we all know if you hit the pylon with the ball, it's a touchdown. Yeah. Was he over the line? No, his foot was on the line, so it's going to count. Yes, Marietta. Talk about heads up play. Yeah.
Wow. Here it is. Yeah, you got it. He wasn't over the line. Touchdown counted. Unfortunately for the Chiefs, the Titans come back in this game and win 22-21. Yeah. Man, John, I have to mention, just watching this game, I'm like, these are great uniforms. I enjoy both the Chiefs and the Titans uniforms in this game.
Those particular Titans uniforms I really liked. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just such a shame now because the ones they wear now, I think, are awful.
I think the shoulders always stand out to me on the current Titans uniforms.
Yes.
Where they like, I guess it's supposed to be the like sword shape that's like going sideways on it.
Yeah.
Like on the top of the shoulder pads that just like makes
it's Nike trying
really throws the whole thing off, I think.
Yeah. I mean, these I like these Titans uniforms too because they I think they're a kind of nice homage to the Oilers. The previous iteration of this franchise, the previous branding. But yeah, I really like those colors. Man, that's sad to watch. Anyway, okay, we have two more, one more football.
All right,
and then and we'll end with the basketball one. So this one is going a little further back in NFL history here. This is back in 2010. We have David Garrard quarterbacking the Jacksonville Jaguars. And this game is a home game for the Jaguars, the Texans, the Jaguars. There are just seconds left in the clock. We have there are 3 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Right. Last play of the game. The Jaguars have the ball right at midfield, tie game with Houston. And
let me set it up before you hit it. Okay. Yeah. All right, here we go, boys and girls. The last play of the game. Who's got the ball?
Jaguars.
Jaguars got the ball right at the 50-yard line. Gerard's in the shotgun. He's got 3 right, 1 left. Hike. Drops back to pass. He got time. He heaves it up. All right. It's a Hail Mary. No. How could that happen? He tried to knock it down. The defensive man jumped, high pointed the ball, was trying to drive it down to the ground, but actually hit it into a Jaguar player, Graham, and he took it into the end zone. Oh, tell me that boy won't sleep good tonight. He will not sleep good tonight. How could you lose a game like that? He tried to bat it down just like he's taught. He didn't get he didn't get full strength on the ball. Oh, it went into Graham's hand as a Graham and into the end zone he goes. Man, that's what dreams are made out of. That's what dreams and nightmares are made of.
Man, I'll tell you what, Jeff. If Michigan football gets a hold of this, you might be getting a call.
Yeah,
pretty soon. If I were Jim Harbaugh, I'd want you announcing my games.
I would. I always like when people like sit in the back of the stands with a like portable radio with them, like when they're at the actual game.
We used to do
and still listening to the radio at the game. And like I haven't done that very frequently, but I would say if you were announcing a game, I would probably make sure I had a radio with me.
Yes.
Just to be able to, hear it live, I think. Yeah.
I appreciate that.
So, okay, we have one more for
All
you.
right.
And we're going to go back to basketball. This is high school basketball.
High school basketball. You never know what you're going to get in high school basketball.
Yeah, amen.
That's for sure.
These are great microphones.
Yeah. And we just want to make the R correct, for broadcasting here. So this is a high school game in 2012, and it's in Chicago. So we have Curry Metropolitan High School, and they're playing at Marist. So the Curry Condors at the Marist Red Hawks. It's I think
I look like Traverse City West against Traverse City Trojans right here, boys and girls.
There you go. There you go. So it's the closing seconds of the game. They're probably 12-ish seconds left on the clock, and Marist has the ball. It's their home court, and they're gonna have probably one last possession. I think the game is they're either down 1 or 2, or the game's tied.
All right. Okay. Just get it set up. Okay.
So Marist is in the red, and they're gonna be bringing the ball down court.
I might use different names.
Okay.
All right. Trojans got the ball down by 2. They're bringing it up. Joe in between the circle, drives in, passes it to his brother Rice. Rice passes to Adam. Adam drives to the hoop. What's going on? He drains a 3-pointer. Oh, man. Okay, so let me get this straight here. So he drives the lane, kicks it out to the corner. The corner guy was guarded well, and he kicked to his buddy Adam Rossi out on top the arc, and he drains a 3-pointer. The crowd goes nuts. The school did a nice job of keeping the fans off the field, off the court, I thought. Yeah.
Well, so there it is.
Man, oh man, what a play though. I'm sure I didn't describe that very well for your viewers at home, but let me go through it one more time. Okay, we're down by 2. We drive it across the half court. He pitches it over to Joe. Had the ball for a second, drove the lane. He kicked it to his man in the corner who was covered. He saw Rossi out of top the key, threw it to him, and he drains 3, and the rest is history. Wow. Man, oh man, what a finish to this game. That's one you won't forget, boys and girls. That's one you won't forget.
Wow. Well done. Well done. So this particular play, I thought I'd put on here because it's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Of course, I think I've seen plays like this before. Like it's certainly not unheard of.
Right.
But the announcer in this play, maybe I just want you to listen to what the actual announcer said. I won't.
These guys are. If you can describe that, I mean that there's a lot going on.
Actually, audio's on. Here's how he sounded.
Play for 1. McIntosh across into the front court, looks for help, finds Odin. Odin slips back to Mac. McIntosh on the drive to the corner. Out 3, Williams. Yeah!
It's amazing how they can get all that action so quick. Oh, hot rod.
Drills a 3 from the right wing, and Marist has the lead with 2.4 left.
Well, if it was my home team, I might get that excited, but this is just a video for me. That is
You
great.
are watching what greatness is all about in the IHSA, y'all. Woo! I mean, Marist has scratched and clawed. These 2 teams scratching and clawing all night.
So did you ever reach that high register?
No. We had the year I announced we had a really good team, but no, never shot up there.
Too memorable. Yeah. Well, Joe, thank you so much.
Oh man, this has been a blast. This has been a blast.
Before we get off, we do like to close with one question, maybe, John, if you want to.
Yeah. So we try to ask every guest we have this. Want to keep it pretty open and just however you feel to answer it. But Joe, why is sports important?
Why is sports important? That's
or sport, I guess.
It's an outlet. To me, it's an outlet. But in our society, it's so big that it's amazing what it's come down to in a way. And I enjoy it. I enjoy it. I think for the same reason everybody does. It's excitement. It's part of our culture now. And we are talking about the Tigers winning. And in any states, I'm sure it's the same. If the Tigers are having a good year, it's what people are talking about. It brings people together. Oh, hey, did you see the Tigers last night? You see where Bill hit the home run and we won it in the ninth? Or we're right now, since we lost Verlander, we haven't been that good. And it's not the talk of the summer anymore. And that's sad in a way. To me, it brings joy into my life. It really does. My son lives 2 blocks from me. You know who I watch all the big games with? I'm a dad that gets to watch all the big games with his son. What's more fun than that? It's a huge part of my life because, I choose to make it a huge part of my life. And it's entertainment. It's pure fun. And you know what else it is? It's the original reality TV. If you think about it, you don't know who's going to win.
Go.
Some people think they do, or it's all rigged. No, it's not all rigged. It's the original reality TV. And how many, like that guy right there announcing, it's a highlight of a year probably. When AC caught that pass across the middle against Indiana and took it in the end zone. Nobody knew we were going to win that day. Nobody. And what did AC say when he walked into the huddle before the play? He was only a freshman. Remember that. He told Wangler, get the ball to me. And the senior tight end looked up. What? Just get the ball to me. That's what AC did. And that's what they did. And what did he do? He broke those Indiana Hoosiers' hearts. And, that's sports. It's unbelievable. And, we can, I don't know how much you want to elaborate on this question, but, you're talking the money now and all this and all that, which has changed things. But, if the players don't get the money, who gets the money? There's so much money being generated out there that these players, like Mahomes, he signed a contract for $500 million, right? Okay, the only problem I have with him, he shouldn't be carrying his wallet in his pocket while he's playing. I think it's slowing him down these last few years. I think it's slowing him down. Take the wallet out before you take the field. I think it's hurting your play. But, if they don't get it, the owners get it, right? It's never going to happen, but it would be nice if more of that money could be spread. How much does an individual need?
Right.
I always remember Jay Cutler, Chicago Bears quarterback.
Mm.
He signed his second huge contract. And he says, I have enough money. I want to win. And so many players on ESPN ate him up. That's not even in my vocabulary. I got enough money. But how much do you really, really need? That's like Stafford. Him and his wife are set for life. Generation wealth is what they call it, right? These players have generation wealth that their families are going to be able to enjoy, which is positive and negative, like the sign in the bathroom. What's it say? Wealth without work is a negative, but if they don't get it, the owners get it. Let's spread it around. They deserve it. But it'd be nice if, especially all these communities that have teams, they could use a boost, like Detroit, LA.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much money being generated. Spread it around. Getting off the subject a little bit, but sports, it's great. I mean, look what you guys are doing. This is a blast. And it's all because of sports. And, with Adam, I know you guys are having a down year this year, but when West Virginia's winning, what's more fun? The NCAA tournament's coming up. Big Blues had some good runs lately. Michigan State we root for. And yeah.
Fun is I think an underrated word maybe in our society. It's
and like we were talking earlier about, I still think runner up, or like Michigan this year, we won the division, the Eastern Division of the Big Ten. We won the Big Ten title. Sure, we got beaten in the Final Four, but we won the Big Ten title. And what's that Feinstein guy's name? He wants to get rid of Harbaugh. All Harbaugh has done is won 10 years a game and gone to a major bowl, and we should get rid of him. Because he hasn't won the big one. There's only 2 teams that are going to win the big one. Alabama and pick somebody, right? I mean, to me, it's getting old.
the Alabama Georgia Bowl system, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But no, we won 10 games. We went to a major bowl, played on New Year's Day, but our season sucked. Give me a break. We had a great year. We had a great year. We
Yeah.
should celebrate.
I'd
They
do
didn't
anything
win
for
it
10
all.
wins.
You know? Yeah, it's crazy.
Well,
but it's fun, and that's why we watch
I was gonna
it.
say that's part of it, maintaining that fun
Yeah.
throughout all of it. That's why I care.
And like you, I haven't gone down to Michigan in a while, but yeah, what's more fun than that? The problem is no more paper tickets. Let me put it on your phone.
Yeah.
How's this work, man? You just took my $80 and what do I got?
it is tough. Well, this has been a lot of fun. So
It's
thanks
been
again.
great, fellas. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you can make it at least sound decent.
I don't think we have to
Oh,
do
what?
much.
Yeah, much beyond decent.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
This has been awesome. Well, super cool. Well, thanks so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right.
From the Colorado Rockies to the banks of the Missouri. Thanks to all listeners from points in between and not between. Till next time, he's John and I'm Adam. Stay classy, Frostburg.